Oh my gosh, I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. I'm just doing this as an experiment because I wanted to see. I'd never tried doing YouTube Live, um, and take the opportunity with my first ever YouTube Live to ask you guys what you want to learn about acting. Because I know I have this long running list of things that I want to blog about and talk about and share with you guys. I'm always, when I have a coaching session, something will come up and I'll write that down. Like, oh, this is going to be a great topic. But I want to know what you who watch my channel want to hear me talk about. And maybe, I'm wondering if any of the posts that I've shared in the past have brought up any questions for you. Maybe you tried to apply it and then you weren't quite sure how, or you got stuck. So let me help you. I also asked this question because I figured I could take the opportunity using YouTube Live to answer some questions. I shared this on my Instagram page too, asking what people want to learn about. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's just at Teen Actors Lab. And I hope you guys know too, I do work with actors of all ages. It's the channel is called Teen Actors Lab because that's my site where I share all this content. But I know a lot of you guys who follow me on YouTube are adults too. So just to not make you feel excluded from the conversation. But somebody asked on Instagram, on my Instagram page, what that she was confused about what to do with her body when she was working. And sometimes she felt like she moved her arms too much. And sometimes she felt like she didn't move enough. And that was such a good question and something that I got really excited to talk about and that I will talk about because that is something that I know actors do get really stuck on, and they probably get that note again and again, right? If you're working on a play, like, what are you doing with your arms? Or you're not moving your body, and that's something that I can definitely help you with. But so tell me, what other kinds of things like that come up? Are there notes that you always get from directors, about your voice or things that you feel nervous about? Or do you get really nervous, in auditions? Or do you get really nervous? Do your nerves prevent you from either acting at all or from giving a great audition? So just sharing a couple of these ideas. Maybe you have some things. Jasmine is writing in. She used to get nervous. Do you not get nervous anymore, Jasmine? Have you conquered your nerves? And if so, maybe you can tell everybody how you did it. And if you still get nervous, that's a great topic, and another one that I love to talk about, because that's something that I also, in my acting, battled a lot. And the first thing that I'll say about that, Jasmine, is that don't ever think that your nerves are going to go away, because they won't, and you won't want them to. But what you will want to do is to include them and to embrace them and to allow them. So that's the first idea that I would tell you to work with when you're performing or when you're auditioning. I had this. I'll just share this story, and maybe I can dive deeper into this at some point in a post. But I had this audition a long time ago for this big theater company, this big regional production, and it was a role that I was really right for, and I knew it. And I read the script and I fell in love with it. And I worked on it really hard. And there were, I think, 2 monologues, and really big monologues. So I worked really, 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 really hard on them. And I coached on them with the person who was coaching me at the time. And I showed up there and she's like, what are you doing? Yeah, you're on it. This is it. Like, you've got it. And I was like, okay, I got it, and I did. I was like, and it was hard, but I'd worked on it and I was ready. And I was in the middle of my monologue and I just stopped. And I had this thing take over me, that like this voice basically telling me that I didn't know what I was doing, that I was going to mess it up and that I didn't know it. And it just froze me in my tracks. So I'll talk about that a little bit. And maybe that would be helpful, but that story, maybe some of you can, it was so bad, that audition, because I was killing it. And I stopped and I just said, I got to start again. And I did it, and I did it again 2 times. It was one of my worst experiences ever. And I hope that never happens to any of you, but it probably has and will if it doesn't. And I've learned a lot since then, and I want to share it. Jasmine, you said, not really, because I've been in choir and I'm used to getting on the stage, but I get a little bit of butterflies when I feel like I mess up on a line or something. Yeah, totally. And that's 100% normal. And it won't ever go. That's you being a human being. What you will learn. And it's so good that you're in choir, because that's going to work that muscle on a regular basis. It's why, actors that are working in Los Angeles, it can be such a great thing when they were going to do like casting director workshops and stuff, because there's this thing that your nervous system goes through when you're getting on stage, so to speak, regularly. And the more you do it, so the fact that you're in choir is really awesome, because it'll give you that experience again and again. And it's so great. You're going to totally mess up lines. It's almost like this idea of feeling, of allowing and accepting whatever is there to be there, and not feeling like, this is something that I also had struggled with a lot as an actor, was wanting the conditions in my life to sort of be perfect that day. Like if I had a show that I was doing that night, I wanted everything, this ritual of this perfect day, to have the perfect performance, which is just crazy because you have no control over the world, and you're going to be constantly setting yourself up to fail if you need everything in the external world to be perfect for you to have a great performance. So I will talk more about that, about nerves. And, Jasmine, let me know if it comes back up again another time, and, you have more questions about how to deal with that. But it's so great that you're in choir and working on a regular basis. Andrea, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hi, Personally, I want to do theater, but my parents won't support me. Any advice? That's a great, I'm going to write it down right here, because that is also something that comes up a lot. And the first thing that I'm going to, and we can do a whole post on that. But what I will say today, oh, geez. You have to connect with what's important to you ultimately, right? I'm not recommending that you go out and start, going completely against your parents' wishes. But I do think you need to take care of yourself. And it may mean, and I don't know your situation, and I don't know you, it may mean that you need to go out and do things like get a job. What I did in high school is I got a job bussing tables first and then waiting tables so that I could make some money to do the extracurricular things that I wanted to do. And maybe that's, I don't, again, know the situation in your family, but if you can find ways to support yourself and to continue to have open, honest conversations about you and your passions, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself in all other areas of your life. And, whatever it is academically or all the things you need to do, so that you can hopefully find a harmony for all of those things. But if you feel free to shoot me an email if you want to elaborate a little deeper into that, and I can answer that question after I've had some time to also think about it a little bit. And the email address, if you don't know, you can email me at sarah@teenactorslab.com, and feel free to just share the whole picture, tell me what I can and can't talk about live, and then I'll come back and address that question a little bit too. So if you don't end up watching this live and you watch it later, in the comments below, go ahead and write down what you most want to learn about acting. So, and you can think big picture if you want to think about like acting techniques specifically, or questions like Andrea's, or even business stuff, resume stuff, life stuff. We end up doing a lot of life coaching things in a lot of my sessions about, prioritizing and staying on top of everything. So shoot me your questions. I'd love to support you however I can, because I know what I think I want to teach, but I'd love most to teach what you guys want to hear me teach. So fill those in the comments below, and I really look forward to hearing kind of what comes through. All right, you guys, have a good one.